Okay, make sure that it's centered. Then I pour up to the top here. Wait for it to harden. Now I add metal.
So that this wire that's exposed will be connected to
Yes.
the metal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But even if it weren't, it wouldn't make any difference. Energy goes where it needs to go. It doesn't need a physical connection. Only our old landline phones and certain wired things are still connected by wires. But in this dimension, no, there's an energy flow. Invisible. We're getting into almost the quantum field. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I add a layer of metal, and into the metal I put all my crystals. Quartz,
So
black
those
tourmaline.
Or smaller tumbled stones that you're putting
Yeah.
in there, or powder?
Whatever I have, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Again, crystals give off their own energy. Doesn't mean if they're tiny, tiny little crystals or big chunks of crystals, doesn't matter. The frequency comes off those crystals, whatever size they are. Mm-hmm. You can take a river rock stone. It will give off good energy because it's made of crystals. Here's a chunk that was found. Look at all the crystals inside it. It's mostly crystal. It is covered by some rock or stuff.
Did you find this?
Yeah.
Where?
It's, I don't know, I've had it for years. I can't remember.
So you go out looking for these? Or?
I don't specifically, but when I am out, I'm always looking on the ground. I'm always looking at rocks. And crystal is everywhere. It's one of the common elements on terra firma, on Earth. They're
Terra
everywhere.
firma?
The Earth. Terra. It's a Latin word for the Earth.
Ah, okay.
Terra firma. The firm Earth that we stand on, as opposed to floating in the air. The reason I go to the crystal shop, because I have access to a wholesaler who will sell me crystals, different sizes, okay? Because I just went a few weeks ago and I dropped over $500 worth of crystals. So, and quite often they never have the size that I want. I wanted the longer ones and they didn't have any, so I bought a whole bunch of, a bag of shorter ones. Here's how they come in.
Do you think that it makes a difference, though, if someone has like a huge quartz crystal in the middle?
Look, just because you have a big crystal like that, your head tells you it's got to be better and stronger than a small one. Crystal doesn't care. Only we care.
That's true.
And the guy who sells you that cares because he wants to make more money.
Right.
He's going to get a lot more money for this than if you buy half a dozen of these or a pound of these.
True.
He'll charge you $30 or $35 for one of these when you can get a bag of crystals for $35. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you learn that from experience. But if you want to believe that this is better, don't let me prevent you from believing that. Go ahead, believe that. But I can show you with the pendulum that if you take crystal powder, just powder, and put it there and measure the energy, from that, it won't be any different. There's a physicality involved in a crystal when it's used in a computer. What they're using is, the crystals is so tiny, so fine, and it's plated vapor deposition on a substrate in a crystal. So tiny, we're talking nanoscale. They deposited vapor deposition on, that's why those rooms have to be totally dust-free, clean, and everybody's wearing boots and almost germ-free. Okay, so the crystals, the energy that is used there has a definite frequency that they use for the computer, 2.2 gigahertz or something. A more expensive one has a faster computer, okay? That is determined by the resonant frequency of the crystal, of the deposition that goes in there. We're miles and miles away from physical, actual crystals to the crystals that are used inside your computer. It's still used, but you see, they clock the speed of a computer by the frequency of the crystal. And different crystals have different clock frequencies. It gets very complicated. They've worked that all out. They can measure the frequency. The older computers would clock in at 1.2 gigahertz, you know. Now you can go out and buy fast computers that are 3 and 4 and 5 gigahertz.
4.5.
4.5. Super fast. But what the crystals they're using there, remember, tiny, so tiny, you can't see them. They have to be deposited on a substrate. I don't even exactly know how they do that, but it gets very, very technical. So they layer it, nano.
Okay, and then what we're
And it's
doing
put on a computer chip then.
is we're using our intention. So
Yeah, that's totally different.
we're altering reality through that
Yes.
intention, through very subtle
Yes.
actions.
Yes.
Okay.
Our intention, if it comes from the right place, is very powerful because the heart frequency is the most powerful frequency we give off. But you can really mess it up if you're using this. And most people use this. Well, not even the right side, the left side. First, you have to get into right brain before you can get into your heart. You can't go from the head to the heart from your left brain. It's virtually impossible. Yet, we have been programmed and we live our lives essentially totally in left brain. Yeah, that's why I play classical music. That's why the only thing I hear is some extraneous noise, or some crows will fly in and they'll beg for some food, and I put some food up on top of there and they'll eat it. And I'm zoned out. I'm in my own space. That's my form of meditation. I'm into right brain and heart as much as possible because I'm trying to create something that will be beneficial to whoever ends up with it.
Right.
And that energy will be imprinted into each Orgone generator.